Hi, I'm Liz Johnston. I am a member of the ResourceX operations team, and this video is about the 3 questions of priority-based budgeting. When we introduce priority-based budgeting to a new organization, we typically frame that implementation in 3 questions. What do we do? What does it cost? And why are we in business? The what do we do piece is with relation to the programs that we ask each of the organizations to identify. This is typically at a department level, but the programs tell the story of that department and the organization as a whole. These are the services that are provided either to the community or to help the organization run. What does it cost? This is the second step, which is allocating line items to programs. This gives a more well-rounded picture of the programs and what the costs are that are required to provide that particular service. Why are we in business? This is the connection of results to the programs in their program inventory. The results are typically identified by each city, and then we also use the basic program attributes provided by ResourceX. So looking a little bit more in depth at programs, this is one of the first steps and the backbone of their priority-based budget. This is to think about the programs and services that are offered by your department and by your organization as a whole. Programs are bigger than tasks and can be identified as community or externally facing, or governance internally needed to run the organization. Programs help by creating transparency and ease of communication, showing what you do, and then later what it costs to do that. It helps to start discussions on trade-offs, to provide comparisons to other service providers in your community. These programs will help to have conversations as you plan for changes in the workforce and help to clarify the context of performance and metrics. Some examples from other organizations when asked, what do we do? Some examples may include youth sports, special events, fire and EMS response, continuing education, things like this, just what it is that you are doing to provide a service to your community or to your organization. The second step of implementing a priority-based budget is to allocate line items to programs. Personnel time and operating costs are allocated to each of the programs. Personnel is allocated in percentage of time spent, and operating costs are allocated by dollar amount associated with providing that service. This is really helpful in conversations about decision-making and communicating your services both internally and externally. Some of the questions that you will be able to ask and answer following this exercise is to answer the question of where do you spend your own time? How does your staff spend their time? You'll know the total program cost, so maybe that will help you to identify where too much time and resources are being provided. And then how do program costs compare with any sort of cost recovery? We mean that as program-specific cost recovery, so fees that are charged to provide a service or grants that help to cover the cost of providing a service. The third phase is the scoring phase. The scoring phase is dependent upon the results and the basic program attributes. Each organization will go through and identify a set of results that they want all of their programs evaluated against. Then ResourceX provides 5 basic program attributes to help further describe your programs. These attributes are mandate, reliance, demand, population served, and cost recovery. Each program will be evaluated against your specific set of results and the basic program attributes, with the goal of identifying how programs align with the priorities of your organization. Looking a little bit more in depth at results, these are typically organization specific. These are the priorities that are identified either in a strategic plan, a business plan, but it's really to help identify the mission of your organization. Some questions that will be helpful in answering after you have gone through this scoring against results is what programs would you want to increase service level for? Looking down the road, what might you need to increase over time? Where could you or would you want to allocate new or found resources? Where could you reallocate resources from to better serve your community? And then how much of your budget is going towards one specific priority? The basic program attributes are helpful in further describing programs. These are typically areas that aren't addressed in the result identification. So, are you required to offer the program? At what level are you mandated to provide this particular service? Are you the only provider of that service? Are there others in the community who also provide a similar service? Has there been an increase or decrease in demand for this service over time? And do you receive any program-specific revenue through fees or grants that you could tie directly to your programs? And then finally, who benefits from the program? These basic program attributes typically have a default definition when they are provided to you from ResourceX, but we encourage each organization to go through and identify the most specific definitions for each of the basic program attributes. This is a very brief overview of the 3 questions of priority-based budgeting. Thank you.